Our hands interlace, our stomachs press the music of one human gut into the music of the other human gut. And the gut is plucked, and the music is born, and the cold black eye shoots lightning by the altar, where the wine of the human spirit, mixed with the snakes of healing, pours into the uncensored gullet. Holy wine, born by the snakes of our beginnings. The flown stick is the caduceus of our soul. Lord, make me the instrument of your peace. The war within me demands that every human take off the layers that cover their true nature and dance naked in the battlefield of our beginnings. Crack through to the essence of existence, and you will find yourself with wings waiting for the rise. The wine pours straight from the bottle down my throat into the fire of my entrails. I cannot maintain this show anymore, the false face that is not myself I have been forced to share since birth. I am a dancer on the field of time, and no one shall take from me the right to whirl the colors of my dress except for death itself. And no hand shall imprison, no hand shall cover the eyes of my heart, which take me where I lie down on a shelf of rock over the caverns filled with roaring, sloshing waters. And I reach my hand to the cavern, which is the origin of humans. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carol.
Thank you, Carol.
That was great, Carol. Thank you. And we are going to move on to our next person on the open mic. The second person I noticed signing in tonight. And for those of you who are on the phone, I envy you. You're not for not being able to see his, some would say appropriate background. Some would say, what are you doing, Bill? You walked right into that, Bill. You know it. I apologize. I regret nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome up the comedic stylings, or the something stylings. He's got a style. He's the one of a kind style of Mr. Bill Lewis.
Do not go softly unto that good night. Old age should rave and burn at the close of day. Rage, rage at the dying of the light. But why? With time and age, I have no fight. I've led my life, I've had my chances. I've stood my ground, I've taken stances. I've grown food, I've built houses, I've helped my friends. I have much I'm proud of. When I'm gone, there'll be some tears, some laughs, some hugs, and lots of beer. My time is short, my peers are passing. Whate'er I want, I best be grasping. Nostalgia, resistance, resentment of Chronos, to stay forever young, beating back age with regimens and creams, intellectual stimulations and trainers and teas. I'm too busy. There is too much to do to now I am still able, but my country needs me. My friends need me, my world needs me. They all need me, and they need me now to do what I can now. I can teach now. I can show people a different view of the world now. I can inspire now. My old students are happier people because of me. They make more money because they understand the world better, science better, people better, money better, and they care better. My students care more about you because I cared more about them. To rage at the dying of the light, the luxury I haven't got. When death comes to me with his thighs, I shall not resist. My body shall be gone, but my cares shall persist. I shall stay at my desk, writing plans for tomorrow. I shall live through my students, through their cares and their sorrows. I pray when death takes me that I'm too busy to notice, busy teaching my students, enjoying what life gives.
Thank you so much, Bill. Up next on the open mic, let's welcome up Mr. John Wisick.
I unmuted now. Now I'll spend 3 minutes trying to find the poem. Just kidding. It's called The Dustbin of History. Actually, a rusty dumpster behind the Smithsonian, soggy newspapers, broken glass, black banana peel on its lid, the last deposit, a dripping garbage bag, coffee grounds, apple cores, the Taliban. Before that, a broken comb tangled with Karl Marx's unruly hair. When the lights go out, dumpster divers crawl inside, searching for anything they can sell. Thumb screws, Spanish boots, Hitler's old razor blades, dead sparrows, backyard blast furnaces, Herbert Hoover's musty economics tests, vials of phlogiston, the recipe Typhoid Mary used for ice cream, McNamara's board games, Stalin's toenail clippings, Pol Pot's busted stereo. Bad ideas get a quick rinse in the waters of forgetfulness and a fresh coat of PR. Then grocery carts bulging with Lysenko science crusades, jihads, and 30 years war. The shadowy junkmen scurry to the marketplace or political convention to start a new round of famine, disease, and war.
You.
Thank you, John. And up next on the open mic, let us welcome back Mr. David Miller.
Oh. Who, me? Okay. So I recently found out that the Merriam-Webster dictionary site online has a feature where you can enter a year, say, and it will pop up the words that apparently first appeared in print in English in that year, at least according to their database, which is pretty huge, you know. So I put in my birth year, and this is what I derived from it. The big talk of 1955. I made the scene that year, a non-fossil, non-computer, dieseling my new lungs, jazzed and mind-boggling. As Merriam-Webster spins out the new vocab zingers that va-va-voomed with me into Eisenhower time, I now pinball weirdos retargeted artificial intelligence into DIY speakerphones. Home computers? Sheesh, just a Big Bang theory of juiced up motor mouths. Skydiving nymphets spun the bottle like gangbusters. Sovietologists practiced self-contamination with Einsteinium at Zydeco keggers. In muscle shirts, the New Left stir-fried Peking duck, then cornerbacked ICBMs with fabric softener. Majorly, hidden agendas micro-miniaturized punch lists. Ultra-physical megatonnage put a suicide squeeze on information science. Post-injection strike forces redefected to fallout shelters. Ex-urbanites with split ends scarfed soft-serve paninis on military time. Although aerospace dune-buggied its data files to agribusiness, microwave ovens were counterintuitive to me. My parents' survivable electrojet flatmate, post-impact mud bug in a yin-yang booster seat, their non-automated, unignorable stress test. And you, Merriam-Webster, time reversal cosmonaut, thanks for the wetsuit box cutters, non-leaded veggies, the red panda free agents of platform tennis. Thanks.
Very nice. Thank you, David. Oh, and up next, we're going to bring it to someone who I haven't seen for a little while. It's good to have him back. Let's welcome up Mr. Chris Robbins.
Hey, very welcome. Thank you very much. And I've actually written a new poem in the past few months. It's about this lousy dystopian science fiction nightmare that we're finding ourselves in this year. None other than coronavirus. So here's my thoughts on the COVID-19 panic called Confiscated Playgrounds. We're landlocked and still shocked that everything we ever knew turned upside down. We're quarantined in our bunkers like the population of mental cases this once proud nation has turned into due to us behaving like spoiled brats with the lily-white privilege of treating the parental word no like a suggestion we can just laugh off. In other words, we had it, to put this another way, we had it coming for ages. COVID-19 confiscated our favorite playgrounds, and chances are slim that they'll even survive, let alone return. But what do you expect when we stomped and screamed so hard for cheap garbage that we are even willing to push far enough into afflicted territory overseas to get what we wanted? The compassionate lifelines we would normally share with others are now potential threats. As we starve for the hugs we miss, we hope this is just purgatory, but it sure feels like hell. Hey, Mr. Counterfeit Christ of the Pass the Loot Ministries, what you gonna do now with a vacated palace of worship? Does your overinflated ego still forbid the possibility of donating it to the homeless for shelter? On second thought, I'll settle for watching the shit show while the miserable campaign of our too big to fail king-in-chief starts to resemble an old Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Curse those meddling kids on TikTok, eh? I hope we learn from this. But judging by all the times people learned and unlearned over and over again the lessons of God in the book of Judges, not to mention the typhoid martins who still won't quarantine, I have my doubts. Thank you, Aspie Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. I'm going to bring it over now to the next person on the open mic. Let's give it up for, oh, hey, Jason. Let's give it up for, is he here? He may not be here anymore. Looks like we're missing Mr. John Stickney. We'll have to pass on him for a moment, but we'll go over to the next person on the open mic. Mr. Eric Tate, are you available? Uh-oh. All right, we'll pass over him for now, and we'll go back to him. And Ethan, are you ready? You need to unmute yourself. I can't do it. There you go.
All right. Yeah. Would you mind not recording this? Could you just stop the recording?
Can I pause it? Okay.
Okay. I unmuted myself. I went back to the Black Seed Writers 2 weeks ago, and they have been holding Black Seed Writers at the cathedral every Tuesday, 9:30 to 10:30, but it's been expanded because for the city, for the homeless, they're providing breakfast and lunch. So I went, and this is in the quarterly that came out this weekend. Now this is the weekly, makes it to the quarterly. And actually, I went in there for something else, but I wrote this, and I'm sorry, it's really not a poem. Okay. But I did get a compliment on it. Okay, it's called Licenses Better Than Qualified Immunity. I had to take part in dozens of physical restraints in my 23 years as a mental health nurse. These restraints often resulted when a court hearing would be required before somebody could leave the hospital unit or some other reason. In those dozens of restraints, the persons being restrained were not hurt. Why not? We never applied pressure to the head, face, back, or chest. Also, we had yearly training on how to restrain without hurting anyone. We were encouraged to be placed in restraints ourselves to see how it feels. We restrained people on their backs with occasional need for chest strap, but most often wrist and ankle restraints alone. If police had to be relicensed like nurses are, the police could learn there's only very few tasers to be used before the cardiovascular system is affected. The EMTs would not listen to the police telling them to give a dose of ketamine suitable for a 300-pound person to a 150-pound Elijah McClain, who then died. As a nurse, I had a right to challenge even a doctor's order if I found it unsafe, and a right not to administer it. And EMTs listened to police. And qualified immunity, and require the police to be relicensed like nurses every 2 years. So that's what I wrote. It came to me when I was sitting there. I wrote the other piece that I had planned. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. I'm going to bring up next. Let's see if Nancy, if you're going to read, you have to press *6. So ladies and gentlemen, Nancy Dodson.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, Nancy.
Ingredients. A temple bell sounds on and on for your soul's uneasiness and insecurity. Compress yourself into compassion, mercy, and empathy, and keep the spirit that might have decay or not.
Thank you, Nancy.
Chad, I'm ready, and
Thanks,
Aaron will be here in
Nancy.
just a few minutes.
All right, no problem. Let's, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome up Next on the open mic is Mrs. Crystal McFall.
When the gentleness between you hardened, did you fall out of your belonging with each other? May the depths you have reached you still. When no true word can be said or heard, and you mirror each other in the script of hurt, when even the silence has become raw or turned, may you hear again an echo of your first music, when the weave of affliction starts to unravel and anger begins to sear the ground between you. Before this weather of grief invites the black seed of bitterness to find root, may your souls come to kiss. Now is the time for you to be gracious, to allow a kindness beyond thought and hurt and discouragement. Reach out with suit hands to take the chalice of your love and carry it carefully through this echoless waste until this winter pilgrimage leads you toward the gateway to spring. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Crystal. And is Sir Eric ready?
He's on he's on his way.
Oh boy.
So you can go ahead, Chad.
All right, so I will bring up next to the editor of Oddball Magazine, who's been visiting us in recent weeks. Check out oddballmagazine.com, especially tomorrow. We're dropping out a lot of stuff tomorrow, including our video 3TV segment. For now, here's a person whose Jagged Thought poem column is every Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock without fail. Let's welcome up Mr. Jason Wright.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Jason Wright. I'm just gonna read a poem here. And you can check us out at oddballmagazine.com. And here's a poem called I Wish I Could Dance American Smooth. I wish I could dance American Smooth for Rita Dove. I've never been a good dancer. I am when I'm alone. I can dance. Hands in the air, waving triumphant. Who let the dogs out? You bet I did. I've always felt like the spotlight was on me. When I stepped on the dance floor in the middle of the room, usually in a hall, rented, carpeted, tux on, tie on, but the spotlight was always on me and I didn't want it on me. I couldn't raise my hands in the air and wave them around in abandon. I was self-obsessed. How dumb do I look like right now? Am I sweating? Are they laughing? I hate this song. Why am I still dancing? I don't want to do this. I feel stupid. Look, now they're laughing because I'm not wanting to dance. I say I hate this song because I do. She says I look robotic. I hate dancing. When I'm alone, I dance. I dance. I jump around. I get down. In public, I'm restrained, left alone. The camera's clicking, not wanting to be, usually wanting to leave. Wondering when the carpet got shampooed last and if the hall is haunted. Thanks.
Thanks, Jason. Let's see who we have.
Yep.
I wish John Stickney came back. I don't know what happened with him. But
Jack, can I do an obligatory
yeah, go ahead.
real quick, if you want to submit to Oddball Magazine, just head over to oddballmagazine.com and check out what we got over there. We have a lot of good stuff. You should check out today's Wednesday column. Every Wednesday we have brand new poets. So check it out, and we're always accepting submissions. And I gotta say real quick, I love Jan Rowe's poem. It was awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. Okay. Okay, so let's bring up next on the list. I guess we'll do a round robin tonight because we did have a relatively short open mic, so we'll go twice tonight and go back to normal next week. But for now, let's bring up James Van Looy for the to finish or to keep going the first round. Are you able to unmute, James? Yes,
I
you can.
gotcha.
All right, good.
So here's another one of my pandemic poems here called Pandemic Conventions. Coronavirus magic illusion remover shows, not tells, even as for whom the bell tolls becomes final question to ask the president's son-in-law why we're the only country failed to make a national plan. Just as it came out, the people of color were disproportionately dying. And now, worst case scenario, nothing works again. So the pund rats and the think thunk tanks all want to blame it all on old, so very old Agent Orange Head. This toxic thing in the White House, they failed again to do anything about since he came down the escalator so long, almost 5 years ago. This nightmare person, the dog, just ate his tax returns and surrounded by deadly wrecking crew. So even the Southern strategy, repugnant party Confederate, from the first go on the monopoly board, have to so finally say his people really did it all. And then went on to commit every crime in the book. But then, so what? The system failed. The big awful he is going to be on the ballot anyway. Go out and vote the crook on out in the middle of the pandemic. Postal Service under assault. But vote the super callow, fragile, racist, sex abuser, POTUS out. Yes, vote the bum out. But now we know the only thing the conservative movement conserves is genocidal white supremacy. While the demo can't do nothing about it, party, small ball, every equal opportunity bunch of bully boys. No wonder I can't watch the TV politicians anymore.
Oh. Thank you, James. Mr. Tate, are you there? Okay, we will. We'll just have Tate go long, double long at the end. So we'll start from the beginning, and we'll bring it over to. Let's bring it over to. I don't know if she has anything ready. You could do another 2 pages of Peacefire, Carol Weston, if you so choose.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. The tape measure of my voice reaches back 5 million years of what is to be said. In heart, I dance alone. I cannot lift this notebook. I have to press on through eternities of sleep. My voice is rising. I cannot tell if I can stop. And my hand waits for the fire in every human to kindle the blessing of the race. We cannot bear anything we cannot bear. We have to bear everything we cannot bear. We bear our own true natures to the fire of sun itself, who purifies our being to its bones and lets truth speak from a snake's tongue in the dark of night, the light of love. We start from mouse size with a nose for candy, and we rise to God size with a hand for truth. We start in dust that wraps around our light. We fall in dust that scatters on the earth. We are the nude light that does not dare undress, but bumps desensitized in darkness, unaware of our animal nature reigning there. We civilize our solar flare of spirit's body, unaware, and extinguish the flame with the instrument of torture, the repression of the body and soul in the name of decency. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. You guys will
Thank
forgive
you,
me
Carol.
you guys will forgive me for a moment as I pause the machine. I may go in and out for a second, so hope this recording might be riddled with connection issues. So I apologize for that. For some reason, my connection was just kept on getting listed as weak, but hopefully that won't be a problem now. Let's welcome up next on the open mic for the second round of this round robin, Mr. John Wesick. Oh, actually, no, sorry, whoops. The second person actually is Mr. Bill. If you're saying anything, Crystal, I can't hear you because you're not muted. You're muted. But I see you trying to say something and you're still muted.
Go ahead and take Crystal.
He's unfortunately still feeling unwell, so we'll do it next week, okay?
Okay, no problem. No problem.
All right. Thanks, guys. Oh, you're so amazing. Thank you,
All right,
Chad.
Tell him I said I hope he's feeling better.
All righty. Thank you so much. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
We're dropping like flies, people. Let's stay well. Social distance. Jesus. Okay. We're going to go to Mr. Bill Lewis.
Give me a moment, if you would be so kind. Choose someone else. I was not prepared for a second round.
Okay, let us go now to Mr. John Wesick.
Okay, so in physics there are certain stories that you tell, sort of like, almost like tropes. They'd call them canonical examples, but it's a poem about that. It's called Parable of the Electron Sea, and it starts with the quote from Muriel Rukeyser: "The universe is made of stories, not of atoms." Sing death, oh goddess of warped clocks, cannon shot falling past the earth in a universe empty save for a spinning carousel. Sing of heroes, masters of Hilbert space and tensor transforms all, who battle the two-headed dragon of confusion and convention. Sing of plucked strings and radio waves, of fields tossing energy like a beanbag from one hand to another. Sing of rail cars and flashbulbs, clocks made of mirrors and light, and elevators in outer space. Sing the dice roll of microscopic billiard balls, ultraviolet catastrophe in a cath both alive and dead. Sing of Heisenberg's microscope, spooky action at a distance, an electron tripping over itself, and the coyote riding trickster cutting space into infinite double slits. Sing the siren pitch of runaway galaxies, of universes as bubbles in a cosmic sea of beer. Sing of gravity ripping radiation from emptiness in the atoms of space-time itself. Sing of equations that yield nonsense, of pencils snapped in frustration, broken marriages, keyboards hurled at walls, and Ludwig Boltzmann dead by his own hand. Sing the will to go on.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Dang. Love it. So, Bill, you ready? Nope. Okay, we'll go over to Mr. Aspie Chris once more. Actually, yes, we'll go to Aspie Chris. There we go.
All right. I got a second one there. I've got this apocalyptic future scenario poem called Post-Historic Lament. Broken skeletons litter every hall and every street of our once thriving human earth. The planet is now a necropolis of shattered buildings and burnt out horizons embalmed in ash and regret. I am the last survivor of the human race. And I have one final assignment to carry through. If I can record our fate, someone else who lives among the stars may yet learn from our mistakes. We elected demons for kings. These demagogues turn neighbors into paranoid witch-hunting gangsters by bombarding them with demonic tales, with demonizing tales of parasites groping for citizens' rightful gain. Perpetuating a horrific genocidal game, turning the planet Earth into a global chessboard. Our nuclear might was the arsenic-tainted icing on an ill-conceived, already rotten cake. And now I carry my final spark of life, despite starvation, to scratch these final words with a dagger of desperation on every flaw, and burnt out plot of ground I can possibly find. In my final breath, before I completely fall, I pray that my message lives beyond the day, and perhaps the less sun shall Thank
Wow.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
For a moment, I thought my computer was lagging again, but I see what you did there. Thank you so much. And now we're going to go to Mr. David Miller.
All right. Yeah. Well, here's something I haven't read in a long, long time. I rediscovered it. Sister Earthworm. An earthworm breaches the surface of the pitched hillside where a boy sits, knees up, sneakers braced against a grass-stained slide to the street. The creature stops the boy's breath, not from fright, but from greeting. Child zoologist, his glass-jarred toad dreams in alcohol. A real cat skull from a specimen catalog reigns on the shelf. Today, the surge of a worm to his side. The boy runs to his room knowing this joy could be written, some exact words about Sister Earthworm. Grasping pencil, he turns into a child, too consciously thinking himself as a child, inspired to write what a child would write if a child were inspired. He gapes at the paper, writes nothing, goes back outside. For 5 decades, he wonders what he could say for a single stray earthworm in spring, unaware of him, both above ground in the shade. Thanks.
Thank you.
David.
You're welcome, Carol.
Okay, let us go to I don't know if Ethan, do you have anything else for this week, or do you want to keep it as is?
I'm keep it as is.
Okay, I'm assuming the same is for you, Jen? Are you guys, do you have anything else? Or?
Yeah, I have what I originally went into the Black Seed Writers to write.
Okay, cool.
And I did. This is called one of my encounters with the police and remembering the TV show Dragnet. Place, Mass Ave, over the Mass Turnpike, in a zip car. Time, afternoon rush hour. Mass Ave in Boston at rush hour, specifically the bridge on Mass Ave over the Turnpike at rush hour. This bridge over the pike has 4 lanes, 2 each way. One lane is closed, blocked by a police motorcycle, with a policeman reclining on this bike. The policeman, wearing jodhpurs, is relaxing, stretched out, closing a lane, 4 down to 3 at rush hour. Driving a zip car, I got caught with others in the intersection when the traffic light turned, not many feet, not many meters, from where a cop wearing jodhpurs blocked a lane as he lay on his motorcycle. Once the traffic light changed and we unblocked the intersection, the cop pulled a few of us over into the closed lane. The policeman wearing jodhpurs proceeded to ticket those he trapped. The others sat passively, quietly awaiting the tickets. I complained. Maybe that's why my ticket was higher in price. However, I was able to take a paid day off work to go to a traffic court all day. As I recollect, I think my ticket cost was reduced to what the others paid. I warned the court to be prepared for the rage of head-injured vets if subjected to such treatment. I realize I have such a thing about jodhpurs. Even though I liked him as a child, in the 1920s, a policeman, he was a coal and iron police thug wearing jodhpurs on horseback, broke up a chance meeting of my great uncle Red in the 1920s with his parents when they ran into one of his brothers. Broke it up, move along. The cop, coal and iron police thug wearing jodhpurs on a horse. Thank you.
Yay.
I wish I could hear it better.
Chad, can't hear you.
I said, we'll try harder next time, Carol. I've been trying to get on that mute thing. Bill, are you ready? All right, then let's bring it back up to Bill Lewis.
Cat. He just wants to say hi and come by for a pet. A stretch or a scratch, anything he can get. He's happy, he's friendly, he's confident and proud. He'll keep you up late just by purring so loud. He knows his place. It's at the top of the heap. You do well to acknowledge it if you want any sleep. He gets fed in the morning between 6 and 8. Tuna or salmon, either is great. Kibbles as lunch is an acceptable snack, but for supper it's best to have beef ribs on a rack. Hairballs or something you'll just have to clean. It's a cat's fact of life. He's not trying to be mean. Now up off the couch, human, you've got a job to perform. He needs a soft lap where he can stay warm. You were created by God for an essential reason. You're to worship your cat gods. Any less would be treason. Now, if you're attentive and good to your cat, he might give you a present like a mouse or a rat. To what greater good can a person aspire than to bring joy to his feline with a hearth and a fire?
Thank you, Bill. Let's see. Nancy Dodson, if you want to read a poem, you can press *6 and read along. Looks like Nancy's skipping this one out. Just press *6 anytime, Nancy, and I'll notice that you've unmuted. But if you're staying quiet, I understand. Let us move on over to Mr. Jason Wright, helping us bring this to the end.
Hey, thanks, Chad. This is my most recent poem from Oddball Magazine. It's called Jagged Thought 336. Anger Has It. It is my beautiful little drug. It's all I have left. It's not a medicine off the shelf. It is so much more than that. It has followed me home like a pup. And I love my anger. I let it out to play in these little backyard poems. But my anger, it is not real anger. It is pseudo. It is pseudo rage. It is only fake news. I am not angry. I am ugly. And I love anger mixed with ugly. A perfect concoction that grabs a hold of you, strengthens you like an elixir, makes you type harder on the keys like something matters when nothing really does. Like if you get to the end of this poem, there is the meaning behind everything, but there is no resolution. You want it. You just wait for there to be one. There is no resolution without an ending, and love is no resolution where there is none, and it has all of you, or you think it does, and you wait for it. That was it.
Thank you, Jason.
Cool.
Okay. And with that, we're going to bring it now to our penultimate closer, going in for a second round on this round robin. Ending a little early tonight, it seems, but that's fine. Next week, it feels like Labor Day week, even though it's not, even though it's next week. So I get why some people are getting a little fatigued, and some people are actually starting new jobs, like Patricia Kerrigan. So good luck to her.
Notice Eric Tate came back in.
He did?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, Eric. Thank you. We got you. I didn't see you because I had you on speaker view. All right, Eric. Let's have you. If you want to read a couple, you can go long and do two.
Sure.
All right. Let's have you go it.
Sorry about that. I ate something that did not agree with me.
No worries.
Okay. What's important to one person, I put off seeing her, worried she might ask about the John Lennon bandana she'd given me years earlier. But when she said she'd gone minimalist and therefore no longer had the folder of my poems I'd given her years ago, I didn't feel so badly anymore about losing her stupid bandana. And this one is about the protesters, indelible, like indelible ink, indelible. A protester has the number 4 written on the back of her hand in invisible ink by a police officer in riot gear, and she doesn't know what to make of it. The experience is very Kafkaesque. Later, she learns of a provision passed by the U.S. Senate opening the door to domestic military police powers, no more due process rights. She learns that the military could arrest and detain a civilian indefinitely without possibility of trial, and it makes her think. The next time there's a possibility of clashing with police, she'll be sure to bring along her nail polish remover and a cotton swab. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
And now let us go to our penultimate closer. And once more, unless anyone else joined in, doesn't look like they did. Let's end off with Oddball Columnist of the many things we're publishing tomorrow on Oddball Magazine. It's All One Thing, the weekly poem column, will be going up at 11 to kick things off without fail. Let's welcome up Mr. James Van Looy for one more time.
Okay. So I got a song here. It's actually a little longer than I usually do, but let me see what I can do with it. Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming, or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changin'. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changin'. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall. For he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls. The times they are a-changin'. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend a hand. The times they are a-changin'. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will be later the last. As present now will be later the past. The old world is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last. Since the times they are a-changin'.
Oh, yeah.
And I would say about that, you know, everyone always thinks back and compares what's happening now to what happened in the 60s and the early 70s. And we really have to understand that this is at two ends of a process here. We are at the other end of something. We are at the other end of something that really big that started then, and something that, went into high gear against us at that time is now parading before us in its most sort of pathetic state in the form of our current occupant of the White House.
Well said. Thank you so much, James. We're going to cut out early tonight. I have an oddball meeting to do with Jason afterwards. Next week, we're going to be ready for Mr. John Crowley. John Crowley does have a book. I'll probably post a link to the book later on tomorrow or tonight. And if you have a chance, if you have a few bucks and you want to grab the book, you should do so. Be prepared for Venmo donations as well. And also, I might have a plan to help save the post office through poetry. And you'll probably see a manifesto of that, if not tomorrow, then definitely by Monday. But for now, thank you guys, all of you, for participating in the open mic. And keep tuned at stonesouppoetry.com or my website, chadparenteau.poetforhire.com, where I'll be posting the latest Stone Soup Crouton. Got a lot to work with here. And thanks to Carol Weston for performing Peace Fire, which you can see the near entirety of. Hear the near entirety of it via the performance Carol Weston did with John Voight for Jack Powers Memorial. That was done in May 2011, and we actually were able to get that from the CD and from a DVD and put it on YouTube. So it's an amazing thing, and hopefully we'll get this poem published in its entirety someday, because there's a lot of history to this poem. She's been performing pieces of it. ever since I first heard it in I think 2009, 2010. So hopefully we'll get to read the whole thing in one sitting someday. I'm hoping. But thank you, Carol, and thanks to the rest of you. Let's do the obligatory wave. So it looks good for tomorrow. And Eric, I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
And we will see you soon, all of you soon. Take care of yourselves and have yourselves a good night.
Thank you.